Welcome back to Rachel's Never Seen. I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
Hey, she picked up that cue. That's good. We did not rehearse that. So this week we have quite the classic to talk about. This week we are talking about the 1985 sci-fi classic Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future. I always have. It's a movie I grew up with. It's got a lot of fun, kind of subtle comedy and stuff in it. There's a lot of neat little nuanced things in it that you got to look out for. Like there's certain things that change from the original 1985 to the 1985 that Marty comes back to in the end because of all the things he interacted with and did. So those were nice. Those are kind of nice little Easter eggs that happen throughout the movie. So I'm interested to see if you noticed any of those.
Probably not, because now I feel kind of...
I'm blowing your mind.
Feel kind of dumb, honestly.
Oh, no, it's okay.
The subtle comedies, I probably didn't... I don't want to get too much into it, but I probably did not pick up on too many of those.
That's okay. No, it's okay. I mean, once again, you're talking about a movie I've seen hundreds of times.
True.
So I pick up... Even watching it this past time, I picked up on stuff I didn't pick on before.
Yeah.
And I've seen that movie so many times. So it's one that you do have to, over time, watch again, and you get some sort of new experience when you do. It's kind of neat like that. So I'm going to assume that all of you out there in the internet world have seen Back to the Future, and if you haven't, go watch it for yourself before you watch this review of someone who has never seen a classic movie. I just advise you to do that because this is more for the people who have seen classic movies and want to hear someone's reaction that you would expect should have seen this. So that's kind of the basis we're at. So I'm not going to go through describing the plot or anything like that. I'm just going to get right into what your feelings were as watching the movie. Like what kind of, what did you pick up on? Like, what kind of things stood out to you? What things didn't make sense? And then in the end, overall, did you enjoy this film?
Gotcha. The first thing I wrote down, I really am curious if Michael J. Fox was really playing the guitar.
I believe he learned how to play guitar for the film.
Okay, I respect that.
And I believe he did his own singing, but they dubbed it over, obviously, with Huey Lewis and then with Chuck Berry at the
I respect any artist that does that and doesn't just you can tell because you're only seeing the hand shots of somebody playing the piano and then it cuts away to just their upper body. You never see the actual artist or the actual actor or actress playing.
When they are doing it, you're like, are they just going through the motions? Will a real player look at that and go, come on, man.
No, okay, so I do respect that.
Side note on that.
Yeah.
He also learned to skateboard for this role too.
That's
cool. He went out and learned how to skateboard.
He fooled me. I thought he was just had been a skateboarder.
Yeah, right. No, he went out and learned how to do that.
I mean, some of the skateboarding scenes were kind of over dramatic. I feel like maybe especially towards the end. It's kind of fuzzy in my memory now. Right. But I feel like there's one that was especially over dramatic.
I imagine it's probably like the 1955 where he breaks the kid's scooter.
That was what it was.
And he takes it. That was something exactly I noticed on those for the first time, me watching this in a long time. I noticed that the wheels under that thing were caster wheels, which probably makes sense for the time, but there were actually 4 sets of them, the way it looks. And that might have been the way they built. So part of me just goes, I wonder if he would be able to ride that like a skateboard with the type of wheels, because skateboards have very specific wheels.
Sure, yeah.
And these wheels look like they're just metal casters under there. So I don't know. That's just something for anybody out there in the internet world to enlighten me on. I'm all for it. Believe me, I need enlightenment here and there. So anyway, I interrupted you. Please continue with your notes. What you got?
We watched it on November 5th, which was kind of funny.
That was accidental, but worked out beautifully.
It was really funny. I got a laugh out of that.
Yes, November 5th, 1955. We, I guess, watched this movie on the 65th, math is hard, 65th anniversary of when Doc Brown came up with the idea for time travel. So, hey, bonus.
Speaking of Doc Brown, he was my favorite character. I did really enjoy him. I just love, and I do like sci-fi films. Right. So I was intrigued. I was interested in this one, and he's just his eccentric. I can't never say that word. Eccentric. Is that? I'm trying to saying it wrong.
I think you're trying to put an X in there.
Ectoplasm.
Yes.
Eccentric.
Eccentric.
Okay.
Eccentric. Yes. Don't worry about it, folks. She is very, very smart. We get tripped up on words all the time.
Eccentric.
Close enough. Go for it.
I'm just really...
It's all good, baby.
I can't believe I've been pronouncing that wrong for a long
there's
time.
definitely not an X in it.
Okay.
It's like espresso and espresso, not a thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Continue on.
He didn't... What struck me... one thing I did notice was, like, with the doc, it didn't look like he aged when they went back in time to 1955. I couldn't tell that he had aged. His hair maybe was a little tidier, but overall, I felt like he was the same guy he was however many 30 years ago or whatever.
So, on a first-time viewing, I think that's completely legit.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, I noticed that kind of thing. If we went back and watched it again, we watched it a second time, you would actually probably see the old age makeup that's on him. It is there. Okay. It is subtle. Mostly in his neck.
Yeah.
They have a lot of lines and stuff, and around his eyes.
Okay.
He has it. And then, when they obviously don't have that makeup on him when he's in 1955.
Okay.
And what's even funnier is, like, I always thought Christopher Lloyd looked like that. Because that was, like, besides, eventually when I was younger and eventually I discovered Taxi and was like, oh my God, that's Christopher Lloyd. And I started seeing him in other things and realized he doesn't have white hair and is not really that old.
I wouldn't have known
you wouldn't have known. No. Yeah, that's how it was for me. So anyway, that's more funny. Notes.
So a DeLorean.
Yes.
That's a real car.
It was a real car. It was manufactured in 1982. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was manufactured in 1982. There was only a certain number made. It was made by the DeLorean Motor Company, which was founded by John DeLorean.
And it's now defunct.
He essentially blew it out his nose. And I'm sure I'm not completely factually correct on that, but I believe that's the low and dirty of it is he... I know he got busted for some sort of big drug thing. It might have been cocaine or something like that. But his car, that was his car. He made that car, and there was only so ever many made. It's a very rare car now. And so that's why that line is kind of funny, because that car was 3 years old at the time and only had the one production model. And it wasn't that popular, but it was unique. And so that's why it was funny when Doc's like, why not do it with style?
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're going to build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
I'm guessing it was yuppie popular.
Yuppie popular.
I bet some yuppies loved it.
Yeah.
In the early 80s. But that was about it. Okay. People love it now. It's probably one of the most popular cars there is in the world because of this movie.
And I would argue also because there's rare. There's
nothing like it.
Yeah.
There's just nothing like that car.
It had the doors that opened up.
The gull-wing doors, which are pretty much only on like Lamborghinis or something like
now.
that. Yeah.
It's not a car I would ever own.
Cars we ain't never going to see. I'm sorry. Nope. That's reality, folks. Woo. Cars we ain't ever going to see.
Yeah.
That's fine. So.
Well, talking about cars I do love, I found it hilarious. The freaking Libyan.
The Libyans?
Is that what they were?
Yeah.
The Libyan Nationals drove a VW bus.
Drove a VW, yeah.
And it was a cute one, too. Like, it was nice teal or aqua or whatever you want to call it. Like, I want that car. It's the Libyan Nationals are just wrecking it?
Yep.
Not fair.
Yeah. No, that was a wonderful little bus, and it was hilarious.
It was.
This fine German engineering they have out there as they're going to cause their terroristic acts.
I don't get it, but I love it, I guess. Oh, okay. So, there you go. The Nationals come and they shoot. I knew he wasn't dead. First of all, I had a feeling he would.
At the first time he got shot, or the second
time? First time
he got shot. Well, he was dead.
Well, okay. But... Well, I knew that. Not even thinking about the sequels.
Right.
Like, I knew that they weren't going to kill off this guy in the first 20 minutes. Even though, like, essentially he wasn't he was. That's complicated. He wasn't that version of himself wasn't a part of the previous.
Oh boy.
Ah!
Here we go.
So that version of himself died, and then they went back in time. So even if he died in the first 20 minutes, like, it wouldn't have mattered for the most of the rest of the plot.
Because Doc Brown died on whatever that was, October 21st, 1985. He died.
At 1:20 in the morning.
Yes,
whatever.
He was shot dead by the Libyans there.
So then they go. He gets in the car to escape, and he goes back in time.
Yes.
And then that brings me to, this is where I did not. Well, I'm going to spoil it. I did not care for this movie. I got bored. I enjoyed up until that part, and then until he went back in time is when it started to go down south for me.
Right. When they went back to the 50s, that didn't.
Yeah,
that's where it
I
went
don't.
For you.
And I don't. I've been trying to figure out why, and I just can't explain it. Like, I don't know if it was the frustration of like him. Sorry. Him messing up his parents, like. Just the whole frustration of it. I'm going to just start with be smarter, I wrote down. Just be smarter. They're sitting at the dinner table, and he says like 10 dumb things in a row. Yeah. And like, okay, sure, slip up once, twice, I'll forgive it. You fool me once, whatever. Don't fool me. You can't fool me again.
Careful, GW.
But like, just use your brain, kid.
Yeah.
You can slip up a couple times, and that's understandable. But to keep talking and just take a second and be like, oh wait, refocus. I need to shut my mouth. Well, this
isn't working. Yeah, I need to stop talking about how I've seen this episode of Jackie Gleason.
Yeah,
and no.
Okay, maybe you're in denial. You don't believe it. I don't know.
No, well, I think after everything, at that point, he had experienced a lot of things that I would be like, you are clearly not. You're not 1985. You're not where you should be. You now know you've seen your father and you have seen your mother, and you know who they are. You know where you are. And the first thing you really need to do is just shut up, get out of that house, and go find Doc Brown.
Yeah, that's
all he had to do.
Why I got frustrated. And then
I can understand that.
It just kept going and going, and he kept messing their story up. And I'm just like, extract yourself. And he tried to extract himself from.
Yeah.
But there's no plot.
It was almost too late. It was almost too late by the time he figured out that he needed to stop doing things.
Maybe I am the problem. Okay.
I can understand that frustration. I can understand.
Try not to vent too much about that, but that was I guess that was my main point.
That was the hook.
That's where it went downhill. The storyline between his parents meeting just bored me. I think it was dragged out too much. Mm-hmm. I understand turning point. I think the turning point where he confronted Biff, it needed to happen, but I felt like it could have happened sooner.
Right.
And that's my main hang up with the movies. I felt it could have been shorter. I got bored with that middle part of the storyline.
Yeah. Which is essentially the storyline.
The storyline.
It's essentially the plot.
Yeah, spoil the last question you asked, but I couldn't keep it in anymore.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, is a gigawatt a real thing? Back to words I can't pronounce. Have I been wrong in saying it's gigawatt?
It's gigawatt. Gigawatt's a real thing, just like a gigabyte's a real thing.
Oh, wait, time out. So, remind me again, how do you pronounce that little clip of a moving picture that's all around the internet?
You mean a GIF?
Yes.
Yes.
You say GIF?
I always said GIF.
I said GIF.
You did. You're the one pronouncing it wrong.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm so glad you all witnessed this. This is awesome for me, personally. I don't get wins like this often. This is a good win for Drew.
Self-burn.
Those
are rare.
So good. Insert the clip of Jake Peralta right here, self-burn.
Ooh, self-burn. Those are rare.
All right, well, I need to take a drink, clear this crow out of my mouth.
Yeah. Everybody at home, take a drink.
Cheers.
Whatever you're drinking, drink it.
All right, so the kid, I did not like Biff. No, he's the villain. Nobody likes Biff.
No, Biff was a stereotypical bully that you could get.
It was great to see him get his due.
Yeah.
I liked the part to understand, like, at the beginning where they're in 1985 still, and you see him just tearing into George.
Mm-hmm.
George. Tearing into George at the beginning as his boss, and you just, man, you feel... Ugh.
You feel awful
for him. And then to have his kids standing there watching it too. And then to go see the relationship they had when they were in high school and to understand the way things have always been essentially. I did like that part of the storyline. but his friend who always had the 3D glasses on, I did not understand that. I didn't get it at all.
As I explained it to you when we were watching, he's just some dumb 50s kid.
He's just some dumb 50s kid.
He's a dumb 50s kid.
Okay.
That's all. He's just, I guess he thought it was cool.
All right. Okay. I don't know. I don't understand why it looked like they were using like glass china at the dance for the punch bowl and to drink out of it. I didn't understand that.
It was top shelf back in the 50s. That's what you did.
That's me being nitpicky, but I was like, that's just an accident waiting to happen. Let's see. At the dance, I enjoyed the band. They were fun. Oh, I keep hitting my mic. Sorry.
Mic. Now you gotta readjust.
I gotta adjust it. I fucked it all up.
Yeah.
I keep saying curse words. I'm sorry.
Sorry for the children out there. We don't fucking mean it.
So it was. Oh, there was a part. So he's playing. Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
Is playing Marty. That's his name.
Earth Angel.
Playing
the
guitar when he takes over and is playing whatever. And I don't know, there's a part where someone's like, "Oh no, that's good music" or something.
Oh, you're talking about when he's playing Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
And
he takes over.
And Marvin Berry goes and calls his cousin Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck, it's Marvin. Your cousin Marvin Berry. You know that new sound you looking for? Well, listen to this.
That's what. And I got frustrated because it was white people taking credit for black people's sounds again.
Just couldn't let the joke be. You just had to get woke on that joke.
I'm sorry. Yes.
It's okay. That's who he is.
Anyways, Marty sleeps like a weirdo.
Yeah. He sleeps like Peter Griffin lays when he gets knocked out or something. It's this twisted shoulder,
with
face
his
down,
guitar
butt up
still
in the
on
air.
him sometimes. Like, I guess when you're a teenager, maybe I could fall asleep
I could
like
probably,
that too.
yeah, I'd say I could probably just pass out when I was a teenager wherever I was.
I don't understand how he did not wake up.
It's just a weird quirk.
As an adult now, my neck hurt watching. Looking at that.
Yeah, it's a little brutal.
I feel old.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's it. That's all I had about the movie.
So some fun things in there did you notice the name of the mall changed?
Oh no, I didn't notice.
When he got to the mall, it was Twin Pines Mall, and then of course as he escaped from the barn after he landed, landed like he's in a spaceship. After he was escaping the field, he ran over one of the pines. Of that thing. So when he comes back, it's called Lone Pine Mall.
Oh, that's fun.
Right.
I love those types of things too.
Yeah, little things like that. The thing that I noticed for the first time, besides the casters, as I was talking about with the wheels, that I noticed for the first time watching this movie, and once again, you're talking 35 years of watching this movie, that the drunk that is laying, when he first comes back in time, there's the drunk that's laying on the bench. He was the mayor in 1955.
Oh.
The mayor, the mayor's things drive around, vote for red, whatever, folks, vote for red. And now the closed caption on there said Fred. His name is Red. They say Red in the sequels too when they reference him. But I finally saw the picture, like I just, paid attention and saw the picture on the re-election sign.
Right.
And then realized when they came back, I was like, oh my God, that's Red. That was just something I picked up this time around. I was like, oh my God, Red was the mayor in 1955. Holy crap, what happened to Red? He went south somewhere.
Yeah, something happened to him, poor guy.
And then they still have obviously the changes in like the clock tower. Like when you first see it, it's fine besides the fact that it's dead at 10:04. But then when they come back in time, come back to 1985, the piece of the ledge is missing where Doc fell off because they never repaired it. And, there's just little nuanced things throughout the movie like that. That's kind of cool to see, and mirrored image things. And it gets even funnier and cooler when you see the sequels too. Because they do a lot of damage in the sequels.
My boss is a huge fan of Back to the Future. He's got a poster hanging, and I told him we watched it, and he said he was disappointed. I was honest with him. I wasn't trying to kiss his butt of it. I was like, I didn't like it. He's like, well, he doesn't said the second one wasn't as good, but the third one was really good. But it was Wild West, and that may have been.
See, that's what's funny to me. I feel like I can show you the second one, and you'll enjoy it because of the future stuff in it, which you'll just find. At this point, we find quirky and cute. Where in the back in the day, we were like, "Oh, I can't wait till we have this," and it's like.
I am excited to see that. I'm excited to rewatch this one. Pick up on the things I might have missed. Maybe I'll have a different outlook on it next time I watch. Because I like sci-fi, and I was excited about the sci-fi aspect. I guess there just wasn't enough sci-fi in it for me, and I don't know what I'm expecting. Aliens and lasers, and that's not what I'm expecting. But it just wasn't.
It's been a little too much time,
sci-fi.
Too much time in the past for you and whatnot. And this movie came out once again in the 80s. There was a big likening to go back to that 1950s. It was sought not too different from the last decade in the teens. 20 teens. Excuse me. That the 80s kind of made a comeback in fashion, and music became popular again. You saw that in all these movies and stuff like that. So. It's not uncommon for this kind of cyclical thing to happen, and I think that played a big part in it too. How different 1955 was from 1985, and then there's a longing to go back to that, and then the same thing here, and then it'll happen again in another 30 years.
It's always greener. I did not know that Power of Love was made for that. Movie, and I feel like they way overplayed that song in that movie. It was like nonstop. It was at the beginning. It was in the middle. It was in the beginning of the middle. It was in the middle of the end. It was everywhere.
It was.
I never cared for that song much in the first place. But
well, that's not working out for you at all.
If I didn't hear it again for the next 6 months, that'd be great. That'd be cool.
It'd be all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I don't think you hear it much in the sequels.
Okay.
So you're good.
The sequels,
I think 2 you will like. 3 I'm just not sure because it is a Western.
Yeah.
And while it has some neat stuff in it, it is still, once again, it is a Western thing. It is more Doc Brown focused.
Okay.
It is a much more Doc Brown focused story. And there's a little more like kind of romance and stuff in it too, so it's a little softer than the other films. But I personally I love all 3 films. I think they work really well together as a trilogy. For guys who didn't set out to write a trilogy, they did a good job of making it seem as though it came out as a trilogy.
Yeah.
So I think you'll. I don't know. I think over time, this might grow on you a little more. I don't know how often you're going to watch this movie in the future, but I think you'll be a little more open to it now that you know a little bit, some things to look out for and whatnot. And I think when you see the sequels, you'll see how stuff starts playing off of everything that happened kind of in the first one and how it all rolls out from there.
I'm excited. I look forward to the next ones.
So your overall rating of Back to the Future.
Let's see. What did I give Die Hard?
You gave Die Hard a 6 out of 10.
Oh, 6 out of 10. Well, that's what I was going to give this one. But I definitely enjoyed Die Hard a lot more than I enjoyed this one. So, I guess 5.
5 out of 10.
4.5.
4.5.
Well, see, that's the 4.5 feels too harsh.
Maybe I talked you up to a 5.
You talked me up to a 5.
I talked you up from a 4.5 to a 5. There you go. You're welcome, everybody. Talked her up.
Yeah.
So that's good. So 5 out of 10. Well, we haven't hit anything higher than a 6 out of 10 yet, but it's only the second one we've done. So we'll got some. Yeah, we'll get there. There's a whole lot of class. Trust me, folks. There's a lot of classics coming down the pipe. It's insane how many we have. So keep staying tuned here to the channel. Make sure you subscribe and like. And God, I don't know. Yeah, it's it might be on her side. Maybe
you'll get one of it eventually.
I don't know. One of those will work. Just click
it.
something somewhere. And hopefully you'll keep checking us out and give us your feedback. We really do enjoy it.
Tell us the things that you noticed in the movie that we missed.
That's true. That'd be really good. That way she has something to go back and watch for.
So I can look for more things.
Perfect. That is perfect. We'll try and do better next time, guys.
Bye. Thanks.